Edmonton Oilers step into the second half of this back-to-back as they're here in Nashville to face the Predators tonight here at Bridgestone Arena. And we get to welcome Cam Moon to Game Keys today. And Cam, well, these two teams faced each other just 1 week ago at Rogers Place. Of course, it was a victory for the Edmonton Oilers, 6-2 win for Edmonton. And now they want to be able to carry that and continue what we saw last night in Chicago. I want to ask you about the fact that for about 2 periods, the Edmonton Oilers were able to limit the Blackhawks' chances. And Connor Ingram, he came up big when he needed to, but he came up really big in the third period as well. So what do you want to see from the Edmonton Oilers in terms of that carryover against the Predators?
Well, I look at those first 40 minutes, and Edmonton was able to generate so much. Taking it to the net, putting it to the net, getting quality opportunities. Give Spencer Knight credit.
Yeah.
He was incredible in goal for Chicago. And then as the game wore on, the Edmonton Oilers had to lean on Connor Ingram, and he was amazing as well. So the goaltending good at both ends. You love to see that. But for the Oilers, I just thought their attention to detail early was very good. There were a few turnovers that led to good opportunity early, but they kept those relatively limited. If they're able to do those things tonight, they're going to give themselves a great chance. And I thought last night, especially, again, in the first 40 minutes, the fact that they were able to exit their zone fairly easily, and whether that was just a quick pass up the ice or even just skating it out, whatever it was, they were coming out of their zone with some speed and with puck possession through the neutral zone, and were able to establish themselves in the Blackhawks' end. So more of that. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's the second half of a back-to-back, and you're going to play a Nashville team that's rested, and they were on the back end of a road trip, so on the last time that they played. But yeah, I think if they're able to come out of the zone and able to establish themselves in Nashville territory, they'll give themselves a great chance.
Someone we know who enjoys playing the Nashville Predators because he's often finding success is Leon Draisaitl. He's got 28 goals against the Predators, and I mean, we know that he gets up for these games, I think, based on how he plays. But I want to talk about his teammate, Connor McDavid. He adds 2 assists last night. He's now got 44 points in his 19-game point streak. The floor is yours. Connor McDavid right now.
Well, it's just when you think you've said everything that you can say and we've seen all that we have been able to see, he does something even greater. It's the bar keeps rising, and today he's 29 seasons today. It's his birthday. It's the father's trip. Of course, Connor wants to show well, as he always does, but that speed, the creativity, the competitiveness, all of those things, you put them together, and you have this absolutely next world hockey player. And the consistency of it all, that's another thing that's amazing. I mean, it's a 19-game point streak. It's the longest of his career. He just continues to amaze, and he's so driven. He wants to win so incredibly bad that you can see it. And again, there's that competitiveness, and because of that, when you package that all together with incredible skill and speed, it's a deadly combination. So he also, like Leon Draisaitl, played very well against the Nashville Predators. You've got the fathers here. They would love to sweep the 2-game back-to-back.
Yeah.
He will be doing everything in his power to do it, especially on his birthday.
I love what his dad told Gene last night on the broadcast, the fact that right now he's playing free and with confidence. And if you're describing that about Connor McDavid, it's probably very dangerous for the opponent. Let's focus on the opponent in the Nashville Predators. They had a back-to-back this weekend, went 1-1. Now, last week when we saw them, we were just talking about this, I feel. A little bit of deja vu because it was just a week ago. But we specifically talked about Steven Stamkos, Philip Forsberg, and Ryan O'Reilly and how much of a threat that line is. Steven Stamkos, he's been having a great season, scoring lots, leading his team. What do you expect to see from not only them, but also the group as a whole?
Yeah, I expect them to be better than they were in Edmonton. It was It was on the end of a long road trip,
yeah.
incredibly long road trip. And then they had like multiple days off between the Calgary and the Edmonton game. And it just didn't seem like they were firing on all cylinders in that one. They're back at home. They didn't play last night. So I would expect a lot more out of them. And then in that top line is incredibly skilled. Roman Josi on the back end, just so mobile and able to move the puck. They're going to be a lot tougher team, I would expect, in this game. And, it's just sometimes the way the schedule goes, and especially this year, with it being the huge Olympic break and a lot of games jammed together, everybody gets into a situation. I mean, all 32 NHL teams get into a situation where you've played a lot of hockey or you've been on the road for a long time, and it's really hard to drum up your best.
Yes.
And I think that was one of those nights for Nashville. So expect a lot more out of them, and that's what's going to make this such a great test for the Edmonton Oilers. But, that top line, really good. Then you've got, Michael Bunting on that second line, who can be incredibly annoying to play against, and I mean that in the most complimentary way.
Of course.
But, he likes to bring it too.
Now, I have to ask you about something that Chris Knobloch alluded to yesterday when he was asked both about Jake Wallman and Tristan Jarry. He said both of them are very close. So, if that means we are going to hear from head coach Chris Knobloch before the game today and get some confirmations of whether they will be in the lineup or not quite yet. But if we do get to see number 96 and number 35, what do you expect to see from two guys who have unfortunately had to miss some time?
Yeah, it would be great to see them both back in. I mean, Tristan Jarry comes to the Oilers via trade, and he gets 3 games in, and then he's out. So it's you're waiting to just see a bigger sample size from him. So, and he had played very well. So you just want to see more. So it'd be great if he does get in. Jake Wallman, he'd been out since November 20th, I believe. I think it was the game in Tampa that was his last one. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
It's always a lot to ask a player when he's been out for a long time to step right in to the mix and be impactful.
Yes.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
So I hope that if he is in the game, is able to come in and just get his feet underneath him. So that's always a difficult ask at this time of the year. Also, further, I forgot to mention with the Nashville Predators, that fourth line plays a lot more than most fourth lines. And that's another thing the Edmonton Oilers are going to have to watch out for. That Michael McCarron is just he's a big rig out there.
Yeah, he's been doing some damage.
Yeah, he does some damage, plays a real physical game. But, their fourth line is also quite impactful.
Well, what I love is that we have finished and wrapped up Game Keys on an exciting note because there is still plenty to come today for the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, we'll be hearing from head coach Chris Knobloch before the game. Get a couple confirmations in there. Cam Moon, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Just a stunning day in Nashville. Oil Country, we hope you're ready for this one. It's the Oilers and the Predators coming tonight.